what are the biggest challenges out there right now with either onboarding people or just, keeping the circular economy alive and well?
Misinformation, I would say. Educating people and dispelling any myths. There had been, I don't know if it happened in El Salvador. Actually, it did, because I saw it when I first arrived back in 2021. But when I traveled to Guatemala and when I go to different places, there are a lot of bad players. Maybe not a lot. A lot's a strong word, but there are some bad players that have really negative effects on people's confidence, on people's understanding as to what the technology does. And so when you don't have that education as to how the monetary system works, which is why the My First Bitcoin diploma is great, because the first thing it does is it teaches you about money. How does it work? What's the history behind it? And so if you don't have this understanding, it's very easy to get tricked, to get manipulated into investing in something that, and investing is the word that they use, but throwing your money at something that is actually a Ponzi scheme, that's actually someone just trying to scam you. And I've seen this happen everywhere. And so, people will go into something with a positive mindset, like, oh, I'm going to give them $1,000 and they're going to give me back 10% a week or 10% a day. It's crazy sometimes the numbers that I see. And because there's no education on it,
are these like altcoins?
No, these are literally just schemes. These are just Ponzi schemes.
Just straight scams.
Yeah, no, just straight scams. I'm not even talking about altcoins. I'm talking about somebody coming in, creating a platform, and then saying, if you invest in this platform, we'll give you back 10% a month. And if you have any financial literacy, you understand that the markets in general don't grow at more than 10% a year. And that's just over the past 100 years, right? And so again, if you're not educated on this stuff, then it's very easy to manipulate someone into thinking, all right, you're going to change your life in a year. And that's not the way it works. So that, I would say, that's the biggest thing is fighting these misconceptions as to how Bitcoin actually works. The biggest question I get at the store is, how do I make money from a local perspective, is how do I make money from Bitcoin? And the best answer I ever give anyone is Bitcoin is not a way to make money. Bitcoin is a way to store your value. And I really need people to understand that, because if they think Bitcoin is going to make them money, then they're going to look into other things that make them money. And again, like Jordan said, they're just straight up scams. Mm-hmm. No one's really trying to help you make money. That's a big misconception about Bitcoin, right? And so that's a huge hurdle, because people will get scammed for, it doesn't matter what the amount is. To that person, that amount was a lot of money. And now they're too scared. They're too scared to want to learn about Bitcoin. I've had experience where I talked to somebody. I was like, hey, listen, I run the Bitcoin hardware store. I want to give you a tip in Bitcoin. I get them to download an app. Then they start, ask for a phone number. The moment it asks for a phone number or any kind of KYC, they're like, I don't know how I feel about this, because last time I heard that this person had to run away from the country because they were scamming people and they got all their money taken away from them. And so they're very open to the conversation. The moment you want to take actionable actions and maybe even reward somebody with some sats, they kind of step back a little bit. They're like, I'm not ready for this, because I've heard too many negative stories, or I've had something negative happen to me where somebody, a very personal situation is even within my family. My father's been scammed. But most recently, my partner, when we first met, she's like, don't talk to me about Bitcoin. And then I found out why. And she got put up into one of these Ponzi schemes, right? Where she was supposed to get 20% back a month. And 6 months later, the people stopped answering, the website stopped working, and it was because the guys just ran away with the money. And when Bitcoin first became legal tender here, I saw, being in Alzante, I saw these, I didn't physically see them, but I would hear about, hey, people would come to me, hey, did you hear about this opportunity? This person says that I can earn 10% a day if I'm doing this. And I was like, no, you can't. That's not. And then I look like the bad guy.
Yeah. So it's really about, people getting burned and then being apprehensive to discover anything beyond that, right? Because they still feel the pain of when they got scammed. Yeah, I mean, that's a big challenge. It's one of the biggest challenges that Bitcoiners have been dealing with since the emergence of altcoins, right? And I think that it's going to just continue to be there.
Well, what's funny is that this is a scam that's like above the layer of altcoins, right? It's just like straight. I get forwarded emails from my mom's friends that know I'm into Bitcoin and stuff, and they go, oh, some guy I work with, whatever, sent me this. and it said like bad grammar about, oh, just send me $10,000 and I'll give you 10%, like just like you're saying. And it turns out their emails were hacked. And because my mom's friends have no literacy at all surrounding any of this, and it's coming from someone they know, oh, is this a good idea? Should I send them $10,000? Like, oh,
it goes.
crazy.
It's like from one person that doesn't know what they're doing, and then it just hops over to the next, and it's very contagious because people are in a tough spot, and so Bitcoin is here to potentially liberate you from whatever situation you're in, and so Bitcoin is for everyone. And so the people who get caught up in these situations are ones who are looking to better their lives. And unfortunately, they get taken advantage of. And so that's why, like, my biggest thing was I was lucky enough to learn from, my first Bitcoins of the world, the, some of the developers that live in El Zonte. I was lucky enough, you guys, to really have an understanding as to what it is and what it isn't and how it works. So that's the main focus that I'm trying to do, because if I can educate people, again, it's all about education. You educate people, then you let them decide. If after you've educated someone and they still want to throw 10,000 for 10% a day, then that's on you.
Yeah.
But my hands are clean.